Yo, I swear this trial is getting more and more ridiculous. Okay, so we have to find the error in this photo, correct? Yeah. Can I just point at the box because the box has no stains on it? I've already pointed at the paint stain. Oh my god, it's still pointing to mask for some reason. Okay, we need to think about this then. Because clearly I'm literally just rushing to conclusions. What reason did Luke Atme have to move that statue? He pretended to be the thief, to create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor. Oh wait, actually, maybe it's the timestamp. Naturally, the lie in this photo is the timestamp.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Atme went to KB Security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to be at Lordly Taylor at the same time.
And what does that have to do with the statue being moved?
Remember, if you will, Your Honor. When was the statue placed besides the warehouse door?
Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint.
Exactly. Luke Atme had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place.
What the?
Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet.
Huh.
So, on the day of the crime, Mr. Atme must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down in place where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Atme had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in his photo.
Order, order. Mr. Atme, is this true?
One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this?
What's that?
The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime. Objection! It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program that used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data.
Order, order. Mr. Godot, what is the meaning of this? Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down. Put that cookie down. Put that cookie down now. Put that coffee down. My 11th cup. I've promised to drink no more than 17 during a trial. Which means I'm still good to the last drop. However, the defense has a very good point. A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points. Oh, ain't that metaphorical?
I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points.
So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting idea, however. There's one point that can't be denied.
Which is?
that it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. That's very true.
No way, don't fall for that, Your Honor.
Hey, Mr. Damask,
Yes?
if there's no funny business in your actions as Mask to Mask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn.
Before we do that, though. Now we could put a Templar down. Probably in a terrible spot, though, but it'll do. I first received the request from Lord Lee Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box in Zavadi. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th.
That's pretty much all the stuff we've heard before, isn't it?
Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave.
Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time?
Zavari.
Very well then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Not a lot to go on, is there?
That detective's been covering his tracks. There's only one thing we need to prove in this cross-examination. That he took this photo well before the actual night of the crime.
Alright then, how do we do that?
There's one thing that had to be stated very clearly. That he had never seen the urn before he stole it.
We need to prove that he's lying.
Wait, how do you know the urn was placed in a box? Hold on. He said he's never seen the urn before, but then he said the urn was placed in a box. How would you know that? Also, the urn is not a valuable treasure, that's the thing. You mean this box? Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn, and she wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me. Interesting new tidbit. You mean this calling card? That's right. That is, without a doubt, my calling card.
I guess Mr. Delight didn't make this after all.
Of course, because Atby knew about the emblem. Making this card authentic would have been child's play for him. So you're sure that you had never seen the urn before? Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, I, Luke Atme, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. And this is the photo that proves that, huh? Indeed, to be honest, even if a photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter terribly much. If this photo is a fake... Oh yeah, Maya has a point. That's true. Alright, so we need to prove... We need to prove that he actually had access to the treasure before he decided to play in his sophisticated heist, right? Right, so... Before we actually figure that out, let's go ahead and take care of our next Stream Raiders battle. Alright, 25 units on the battlefield. Let's go ahead and debuff these folks over here. And let's get it on. Let's do this. Oh no, they're gonna get outnumbered over here. No, Drac, what are you doing? Drac, no. Drac got yeeted. No, our artilleries! Rohan, no! Okay, GG on that. GG on that. Drac landed the most kills, but has still lent the most sacrifices, with me tying with the most kills with him. With Rohan at 10 kills and 4 assists, Matthew at 8 kills and 5 assists, GameStar at 9 kills, Kiba at 9 kills, Leon with 1 kill, Almighty Malachi at 1 kill, and Altkaran with 0. With that being said and done, we do have the gold over here, so let's go ahead and spin the Wheel of Destiny. Alright, this will be for the 50 gold. Let's see who gets the 50 gold. Alright, that was well deserved. You know what? I'll go ahead and give Maffy the 50 gold, and Drac shall receive the Centurion. Since you both put place top. Alright, great job, folks. Alright, let's see which one I want to do next. Let's see here. I want to do the path that maximizes the most golden chests, actually. Two golden chests here, one golden chest here. One, two, three. There's 4 chests if I do it this way. Regardless, I'm going to be starting over here. Alright, time for you to put another flag bearer down so you guys can get the buff. So y'all know what to do. All right.
Objection! Objection!
We're still trying to prove that he did touch the urn before.
Objection!
Maybe it's the photo with the urn with the urn what it looked like before it was broken again.
Objection!
This is making me grind my brain juice right now.
Hold it. Hold it.
You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, is that right? Indeed, it seemed that they had heard of my sparkling reputation. I see Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos. Better watch out too, Maya.
Hold it. Hold it. Hold it.
Did no one enter the basement warehouse? Unfortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for a period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. He held the urn in his hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. Yeah, my brain meat is seriously grinding right now. I legit have no idea. They keep on pointing to that specific statement, but what is it? Which piece of evidence do I specifically have to counteract this statement?
Objection.
Hey, what's up, Vajrana?
Objection!
All right, let's think about this. We need to prove that he took the photo, the supposed camera photo, the night. Well, this photo well before the actual night of the crime. He said he'd never seen it before he stole it.
Objection! Objection!
No evidence is working. Literally no evidence is working. The box doesn't work, the urn doesn't work.
Objection!
The paint marks don't work either. Well, this is already the final trial of this specific case. We already got all the evidence. We don't have any more investigations per my knowledge of the second case of this game. And welcome back, Kiba.
Nani?
I only have like 3 pages of evidence. I know which evidence not to present, because they don't make sense in the context. But anything that does make sense in the context is not correct.
Which is weird because it makes sense in the context. I mean, I could also present people's profiles, but I don't know in what case would... Like, how would a person's profile matter here? I mean, before you hopped in here, Vaj, I've been trying to present the evidence that makes sense for this specific statement. Because if I press this dude here... They specifically hint that this statement is the one we need to present evidence at.
Objection!
Oh my god. I know, okay, the urn, it said that for the information the urn was kept out of sight. But he still would have had the opportunity to take that picture before the night of the murder. To give himself that fake picture as an alibi. I think it's the calling card, because it says here, "To the security of Lordly Taylor, I will be coming to purloin the most priceless work of art on display. Take good care of the speckled urn."
Objection!
There we go. Mr. Atme, if you really are Mask to Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct?
But of course. Is there a problem with the calling card?
Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Mask to Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn.
Yes, that's true. But so what?
Truth be told, there is no way that Mask to Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains.
Paint stains?
And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor.
I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite.
The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to a human error, or should I say, an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn.
You can't be serious.
And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atme had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Go, 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 waka. Go, waka.
Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself?
There
Right, that did it. He's broken.
Nick, I think it's still a little too early for a victory pose.
Huh?
It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was masked to mask. And now we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point.
No way, don't fall for that too, Your Honor.
You say that Luke Atby was the one who killed Kane Bullard. Let me ask you this. Why would he do that?
An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright, motive. Might you, my merry murderous motive manifest?
Nick, he's getting a second wind.
If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron Delight, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron Delight. Isn't that right, Detective?
Indeed, according to my own research, the boy's motive is clear.
Without a motive, it's clearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were.
I'd be honored to, sir, old-timer.
They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. I'm sure they said chance in the original Japanese dialogue, too.
I, Luke Atby, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate mask to mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote that blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is mask to mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy.
So the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter.
What?
Very well, Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination.
So you're going to try to connect Detective Atby to Mr. Bullard, right?
And Liam, thank you for the Epic Nightmare Rogue. Yeah, that's right. Hopefully it won't require surgery either.
In that case, you'll have to talk about the blackmail.
That's true. Was that blackmail letter really intended for Ron?
Since we don't have enough information, you should press him for more testimony.
Maybe I'll be able to shake some contradictions loose that way.
Hold it!
Mistook? That's right, mistook. From the Old Norse mistaka, meaning to take an error.
That wasn't what I meant.
As who did the victim mistake mask to mask to be?
Why, the answer is obvious. Ron Delight, of course.
Boy, I'd like to wipe that smug look off this guy's face. Why would the victim mistake the defendant for mask to mask?
Don't you already know that? Zvani, take a good look at this newspaper.
Oh, that's the famous Tear of Emanon, a majestic, magnificent jewel.
That photo shows a magnificent detective as well, does it not? Furthermore, it also shows an ugly guard, namely the defendant.
The defendant?
The victim clearly misread this article, and Zvani, he got the wrong impression. The impression that this ugly security guard was in fact mask to mask.
I see.
That was an unusually reasonable deduction.
Do you really think that story's going to hold up? That assertion is not merely my own, I'm afraid. What do you mean?
I have here a memo from Ron Delight's wife, Desiree Delight. Ronnie thinks he's masked a mask. Don't you feel sorry for him? Please don't think too badly of him. Well, Mr. Trite?
Was he trying to act like Miss Delight just now?
I thought he was actually pretty convincing.
Hold it!
Now that's just your imagination talking. Come now, Sir Lawyer. I'm afraid imagination isn't the right word for it. This is a deduction, the result of carefully applied reasoning.
Can we hear that careful reasoning for ourselves?
It's a long story, and better saved for another time.
Very well then, another time.
Alright, so we have to keep on pressing. We have to press till we find something that we can present evidence with.
Hold it!
And who in the world is going to prove that?
I will. After doing a thorough background check of Detective Atme and Kane Bullard, we were unable to find any links between them. It's all in the report. Perhaps they were connected through their work? They were both involved in security? Nope. That was blunt.
In any case, the only one with a motive was Mr. Delight.
Hold it!
You mean this blackmail letter right here?
It says bring $50,000.
And the handwriting is without a doubt the victim's?
There's no mistake. We have an official report to prove it. But I don't see an addressee on this letter anywhere.
An addressee?
This letter was discovered at Ron Delight's apartment. Mr. Delight did show up at the designated place and time. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant.
I wonder.
What's up, Nick?
I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight?
Whoa, do you have any evidence of that?
For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about this blackmail letter. Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied?
It's this statement right here. However, we need to find some new testimony and stuff.
Hold it!
What do you mean by that? Oh my, I was certain you were already aware. Zavari!
AB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. Since I was the security team chief, I stole data from the company.
Kane Bullard had yet to forgive young Mr. Delight, which is why he sent him that letter upon mistakenly believing he was the thief.
Here's a file that we discovered in Mr. Bullard's office. Evidence that Mr. Bullard was receiving money through blackmail. However, this is a bit odd. Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money, even though he wasn't actually masked a mask?
On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance.
Objection!
Let's talk about the letter. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme?
Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright.
When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight,
I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction?
I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that.
you're one to talk.
At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior? Indeed, time to man up, Mr. Wright.
Before we get a chance to man up, let's go ahead and make sure we get ourselves manning up and ready for the Stream Raiders battle first. I have a good feeling that we know where to go with the letter. I've looked at that. I looked at that piece of evidence over and over and over, and I think I know what we're going to be doing and where we're heading what direction we're heading with it. For sure, for sure. Alright, let's go ahead and get this battle started. Alright, this should be an easy one. This should be easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's go ahead and get crazy, and all of y'all should be able to land these kills. I'll be right back in the meantime, as always.